This is the shore on 88.4 and the waves keep crushing in. Today my lovely guests are Full of Hell, and in the interview we did talk about the same old fake news, conspiracies and the church and their music and politics. Hi, I'm sitting here in the Cassiopeia Beer Garden with
Dylan,
Sam.
from Full of Hell.
So, how's it going?
It's going good so far, a little wet.
So what has been Full of Hell for you?
For the past 8 years, I've been touring with Full of Hell and making records, and it's pretty much defined my lifestyle. I haven't really been doing anything else.
And I've been in the band for about 3 years now, and it's pretty much all I do.
Yeah.
So you did grow up wanting to become a rock star.
Maybe I wouldn't use the same vernacular. I definitely grew up wanting to make music and travel. So
And from whom did you learn this?
my parents, they gave me a lot of good records, like punk records and Americana and folk and all kinds of good stuff when I was a kid.
Same here.
So you're into punk as well?
Yeah,
Started with punk.
yeah. My dad gave me a Misfits CD when I was 7, and then gave me more like classic rock stuff like that, like Dio and Iron Maiden, stuff like that.
My mom was a huge Ramones fan, and she was very into the Bad Brains, so I had that early on.
So I did talk to some English very old punk rockers from the Vile, and they said basically punk is dead.
I don't know. I'm not surprised to hear like an old guy say that. No offense to them. I think that's all subjective. I mean, I guess it depends like what in their minds was like the definitive punk lifestyle or the idea of it. Maybe like their idea of punk is dead, and maybe what it was originally viewed as is dead. Maybe even like the word is dead, but the spirit of punk is very alive. Maybe they just don't know where to look.
Like, what's for you the spirit of punk? Is that
social action and maybe not like a societal conforming. There's so many good punk bands right now in the States and abroad. I mean, the scenes in DC and Boston are like insane right now, and those aren't people that are doing it for fashion or doing it to like get something out of it, like social points or something.
Yeah.
Would you say maybe hip hop is more the new punk rock?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Hip hop. I mean, there's parts of hip hop that are like very socially forward and active, but I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Like punk and hip hop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
because
I think that there's
provocation.
some ideals of punk in like some more modern rap nowadays, but and then even before, like standing up for yourself and stuff in like the old school rap days, that was pretty punk. But and like I don't even know.
I think just because maybe like popular media had like taken hold of it and turned it into like this easily definable, like purchasable aesthetic, maybe like punk for those guys is dead. But I think if you know where to look, it's still everywhere.
Okay. What was it? With what song are you starting today?
What song are we playing first?
Yeah.
It's a song called Deluminate. It's the first song on a record we just released.
So what's this about?
I think it's about the downfall of human society, like in a general sort of way. So I don't know.
Is it really falling down?
No, I mean it's hard to say. I think it's kind of cyclical, up and down. But you know, maybe like the eventual fall of Western society is happening.
The old Rome.
Yeah.
And quote the first few lines, please.
Okay. Once more we're thrust into the vacuum of God's yawning maw, a dream of human debt repaid. and it was kind of like a summation of what I was hoping to write about on the record, I guess.
Huh?
So it was like this like idea of a rapture and like a reclaiming of the planet and the
Rapture,
death
like
of humanity.
everybody's sucked up in the
Yeah.
sky.
The idea of rapture is like kind of absurd, and these people want their rapture so badly. It was like a fantasy of it actually happening.
The religious people.
Yeah, just like Christian society. I mean,
Is-
rapture is a Christian idea, yeah, of course.
Is that a Mormon Mormon? No.
I think Mormonism is like a more extreme sect of Christianity.
Yeah.
Have you been grown up going to church?
No,
Something?
no.
No. I think I've been twice in my entire life.
Back. This is the shore on 88.4, and the waves keep crushing in. And so the church is really a big subject where you come from, because from here it's more. Well, I wouldn't say secular because our president is in a Christian party, but yeah, it's not such a big subject or theme. So is the church kind of an enemy for you?
I think that's a difficult question. I think it's not so black and white. Like, I don't think it's an enemy of the people. I don't think it's like a perfectly aligned ally to the people either.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a necessary. At a time, I think it was like a necessary tool to help kind of keep like a more primitive society in line with certain morals. You know, like something
Like a set of
devised.
rules or something.
Yeah, like something devised by very intelligent men to keep people in line. And I mean, nowadays I think maybe we're on the cusp of an age where people don't need to rely on something like that so much, and it's such a money industry, and such like it's like its own independent governing body, kind of like the Vatican holds like a huge sway.
Yeah, it's an
And
extreme force.
I think in America the religion is like such a huge talking point because so much of our Constitution and like the basic bills that define what makes an American are like Christian morals, and there's this whole thing about separation of church and state, but no one really knows where to end that definition. And the right wing, of course, is very religious, and I don't know. I think it's just coming to a head because they feel that their morals are being pushed to the side.
Has that got something to do because lots of people in the States just live in the sticks and are bored? Or is that a rather countryside phenomena? Or
Well, a lot of the
that
southern states
people
with
are-
like people who are separated from like cities and just
Yeah,
like living
in the
out there on their own in the
country
country, yeah, they're definitely separated from
they're
like modern,
thinking.
progressive thinking, modern views and stuff like that. They just, if they're raised in one place, they stay in that one place and
In that same mindset.
in the same mindset, learning from their parents and them learning from their parents, and it's not always necessarily good.
Yeah, and I think you can. It's sad to say, in the States, I think you can see a clear line between like class level and availability of education.
skin.
Oh, I only have
Thank you.
So because there's such a class divide, you see like a big divide in like the availability of resources for education and everything. So, and I think like culture comes directly with education. So when like the lower class, like impoverished, like white population of America also isn't getting any of this culture, then it's just like reinforcing these crazy backwards ass ideas, and they're never experiencing anything outside of their little bubble, and that's like fostering all of their like crazy ass racist, like weird backwards ass homophobic beliefs, and then it's just generation after generation.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's directly tied to like the infrastructure of everything, I think. Like economically at least.
Who do you think loads up all those conspiracy videos
What kind of people do because that's an American phenomenon.
Oh, really? It's not so much conspiracy.
No, sadly not. And they start now to forbid it because there's something that the fake news stuff.
Yeah.
They try to put down a law on it. No, but we don't have like this huge conspiracy thoughts or against even our government or aliens or the Secret Service.
Just don't talk about it. I don't know what's up with the conspiracy thing. I mean, you could definitely say, like, a certain type of person tends to buy into, like, the really crazy, far-fetched conspiracies. I think some of the more mellow conspiracies probably hold some water and some, like, level
Like
of
what?
truth. I don't know, like... I don't know, like government intervention outside of where they're supposed to be. Like,
Yeah.
like maybe the government having some hand in like affairs that you wouldn't think the government would have a hand
behind
in.
closed
Maybe
doors.
not necessarily like a 9/11 type of terrorist attack, but like the government having a hand in like the drug trade, like the CIA having direct ties to like the cocaine trade from South America and stuff, or allowing like a certain amount of these drugs to be filtered into the country to like keep it afloat and to keep their agency afloat. I don't think that's so far-fetched, but maybe the idea that like a secret reptilian race rules is like the ruling class of this planet. That's
Yeah, it's a
probably
little far-fetched.
Probably far-fetched.
And what about the Swanstika CIA building? Do you know about that?
What is it?
They built a CIA Swanstika formed building in Pennsylvania over the head of the...
I haven't heard about
Yeah,
that.
no, I haven't heard
You
of
should
that
check
either.
it out. It looks like a swastika.
Really
Yeah.
interesting. I have no idea about that. You know, maybe I've heard like I vaguely remember maybe something about that, but I've never read anything.
So that's the Nazi American conspiracy.
Yeah, that I don't believe. I think that's a little far-fetched. But
I think that there's horrible
Who's to
people
say?
out there, but I don't necessarily think that
there's also like a huge complex in the American government involved in like secret weapons research and development and everything. Like that's not so much like that's not really like a
But that's not a
conspiracy.
secrecy, yeah.
But the conspiracy is what they're developing or what they know beyond like what modern science publicly tells us and what they keep hidden. I think there's something there, of course.
Yeah.
And then there's also conspiracies about like certain major political events, like the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
Like Wag the Dog. Do you know the movie?
No.
No, you should check it out.
Which movie is it?
Wag the Dog.
No, yeah, I've never heard of it.
It's a brilliant movie. It came out before Clinton, and it's about the president has a love affair, and then he calls his friends in Hollywood, and they pretend in front of a green screen a war in Eastern Europe.
So they fake a
For-
war.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for American television.
I mean, there's also, I don't think it's such a far-fetched conspiracy that the major media outlets have some level of, like, government intervention, you know, or I mean the other way around, like the government has some kind of intervention with those media
Like
sources.
the mass
Well,
media.
the government, it's the only government post, no? If the government, I mean, if the president can't call everybody.
Yeah, they use the news for
Yeah.
like major updates and everything. I think they might have a pool in that.
And it makes you wonder if the news that we're getting in our country is a little biased. I mean, I would assume everyone's national news is a little biased in the country that they're in, but, you know, it's a little interesting now, though, because our current president is at odds with almost all of media, and I don't know if he's intelligently or just, like, stupidly, like, derailing. I don't even know if it's intentional. Like, he's kind of derailing the media, calling them, like, fake all the time,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is pretty dangerous. But I don't think he even sees it like that. I don't think there's intelligent design there. I think he's just a buffoon.
But that's going on here at the same time. They all want to confuse us. It seems like because we've got the fake news thing going on, and it's the big thing, and you don't know.
Who's telling the truth?
Yeah.
It seems like
It's hard
things
to
are
know what's
swinging
going
right.
on.
Things seem to be swinging to the right in general in the Western world. Maybe it's fear. Letting these pigs get into control. I don't think a person like Donald Trump would have been elected if people weren't like being propelled with Islamophobia and like I don't know whatever else.
Where's that Islamophobia? What did you have? Do you remember having like before 9/11, was there any Islamophobia there?
I mean, we were so young.
I was probably 5 when 9/11 happened.
And I was 10. So no, I don't remember anything like that. And
I was 18.
It never made sense to me anyway. But I don't know. I assume that was like a huge event. You know what I mean? Polarizing people against.
Did you read Naomi Klein? Do you read Naomi Klein? She says it's a shock therapy for people. They put people under shock, and then they feed them totally a new truth, and then investors come and buy everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does.
Why do you think? I don't know, but why about Donald Trump? Why do you think he fired the FBI guy?
Honestly, if I had to make my own guess at like Donald Trump's character, I think he's a good businessman, but I think he's a pretty big blundering idiot. And I think maybe he said some things he shouldn't have said, and he thinks he can kind of do whatever he wants. So I think his firing was like a
Power move.
it was like a prideful power move for him to like oust this guy, and he was too stupid to even cover his tracks.
Do you have any? Did you grow up having any afflictions to the radical left?
Yeah, I mean, it was natural for me,
Yeah.
always.
Who did tell you? Was that your mom? Was she a hippie? And
Yeah, my parents were definitely
Yeah.
hippies. I mean, that's the only thinking that ever made sense to me. I mean, I guess it came from my parents.
and did so? How about the whole fuss at the moment in the States with the Black Bloc and the Antifa? Well, the Black Bloc is coming from Germany. Were you in the American Black Bloc and
No.
like Antifa and?
I think Sam and I definitely like align ourselves with pretty much everything that the Antifa stand for. But in the States, it's a pretty privileged country overall, especially like white kids, and I think like a lot of the Black Bloc. Sometimes I agree with their actions, and sometimes I'm kind of like just like shaking my head a little bit. I think, I don't know. American Antifa are kind of foolish. I think in Europe, European Antifa have a little more of a cause. American Antifa have the right idea, but sometimes I think they're just like acting to act, and it's like the wrong situation. There was this situation in California where one guy who claims like to be like the entire Antifa chapter in Sacramento, it's just one guy. He threw a pepper spray bomb into a show.
Yeah,
For
the
a band,
Black Metal
for
show.
a band he claims are total Nazis, but it's like, I think it's completely wasted energy. You know, like have any dialogue with that guy, and he'll be like the first to tell you, I'm not a Nazi. He's just a fucking bonehead. He's just like he's like a Gigi Allen type figure. It's like shock rock.
Yeah.
So is it really worth your battle? You know, he's not pushing any hateful agenda. He's just like trying to get a rise out of people.
No, they played some shows in Israel. So I get the point.
What's more to say?
Yeah.
My friends toured with them, and yeah, we've toured with some black metal bands, and I don't know. So I think that's makes it a little difficult for me. I think there's other radicalized groups in the States that, you know, have a lot more to stand for and are you know, have a lot more of a struggle.
Do you get the idea of black metal, the whole Ice White Shot and the Devil?
I mean, we love black metal, but
Yeah.
perhaps not in the same way that you're trying to ask us.
Okay.
I mean, I like the theater of it, and I love the music.
I love the music the most. It's
Yeah,
so-
I love the music.
Music
We
is
listen
great.
to a lot of black metal, especially
Yeah,
in the past few years.
few years. Yeah, we've
It's
been
coming
really into black metal.
more into the music for sure.
Now I cut this out. I'm gonna. Are you happy with your record company?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're really cool actually.
Awesome.
Profound Lore is who we're with right now, and it's just one guy. He's really easy to work with. He has impeccable taste in music. We approached him to put out the records because we felt like he was the only label in the States that had like a respectable roster.
Okay.
We were big fans of a label called Hydra Head when we were growing up. Hydra Head put out all different kinds of cool experimental music. And Profound Lore kind of picked up the mantle when Hydra Head kind of stopped doing things. Profound Lore reminds me of a Hydra Head that's more like centered on black and death metal, but it's like very avant-garde, and yeah, we love it. I mean, it's honestly, I would talk shit if I had anything to talk shit about, but it's nice. It's easy.
I had a band firing the record company on my show.
Nice.
That was
That's cool. No, we haven't had that experience yet. I don't think we'll work with any fools.
So, and you did it all by yourself anyhow when you started, no?
Yeah.
Yep.
When did you get your manager, or was that
We don't
all
have
the
a manager.
band?
We'll never have a manager. It's not worth it. We like to be intimately involved with things. I don't really see the point of like an art that you're not personally handling.
Who does your sound?
Like our live sound?
House guys.
Nobody.
And did you stick to your producer?
Nope. We've recorded with a couple people. We recorded with this guy for the last record. He plays in a band called Converge. His name's Kurt Ballou. He's a wonderful producer. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Yeah, it was exciting because Converge is a band that's been around for a long time, and they're kind of like, when we start our band, that's like the band we look up to, because they've run things very, very relatively DIY as far as I can remember, and always kind of did things their own way. So we always watch them and watch what they're doing. So to go and record with him and talk to him about everything and have him play on the record is really fucking cool.
Did he tell you? Did he change your opinion on your songs a lot?
No.
No, he was like really easy to work with.
He wasn't like saying, "Oh, you should."
He would
Play
say
that
maybe
more."
try this or maybe try that, but he didn't push it. And he was like respectable for what we wanted to sound like.
And it's nice because he's very open about his opinions, and he's not quick to compliment. So he's not just going to be like, whatever you guys want. He's like, he'll be very stern with you if he thinks it's bad. But it was encouraging because he seemed into it, and he let us do what we wanted to do, and had like nice small suggestions. He's a very good finesser. You know what I mean? Like, so like the rough edges, he was able to like finesse them
Okay.
in place.
So he made you musically grow.
A little bit, I think.
Yeah, in a way.
Vocally, I'm the singer, and I think he had really good ideas. Things that I wouldn't have maybe thought to do. Like I said, nothing extreme, just like small touches that probably make a big difference in the end product that we wouldn't have thought of otherwise.
So, what was the first song on your last album?
It's called Deluminate.
Now you sing it, and then you sing two lines or something, and then
You want me to sing it?
yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. It's like screaming, and we're both the same way. We don't want to scream without the
Screaming,
music.
yeah,
It feels really weird, and it's loud.
When you write songs, yeah, do you come up like, when you do you first find like a song melody and then go like boom boom da-dum, da-dum, or do you just find a nice beat? How do you do that?
Well, our guitar player writes most of the stuff, and he starts out with the guitar part, and then our drummer will build on top of that, and then I'll match the guitar part, and then throw in whatever
Did
it
you
needs to be
did you ever
different and
come
stuff.
with like a massive bass idea and then say, hey, you find now something for me?
Spencer's very particular about like what is being written, because he's the original guy in the band. He started everything, and so it's like his baby almost, but he is very particular about what is written. And if I did have an idea, he would consider it and maybe mold it and make it his own. But usually he
Not yet.
brings the ideas.
Someday.
Yeah, someday.
Okay.
Who's our enemy?
Enemy.
Or what you're interested in, like what you read up.
Right now I'm actually reading these books that I read when I was like a kid. It's a Dark Inheritance trilogy. It's these like, I think it's made for like teenagers or something. It's this trilogy of books about these children going on this adventure in this world that this girl lives in. Your soul is detached from your body and it takes an animal form.
Okay.
And she meets up with this boy, and they end up finding that like the church is this giant like interdimensional conspiracy, and they go after God and they kill God. It's
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
And it's a kid's
fantasy.
book.
Yeah, I think it was kind of controversial when it came out, but no, it's Dark Materials. That's what it's called. It's really good.
Yeah. I keep up with skateboarding usually. I just read magazines and watch videos and stuff like
Did
that.
you find nice pool? You didn't bring your skateboard.
No, not this time.
And the skateboarding is still so cool.
I think it's bigger than ever now, honestly. Yeah, it's getting crazier and crazier, and it's being more accepted in like the sport world, even though it's really not a sport. But it has X Games now coming up, and there's more competitions, and people can actually start to make a career out of it instead of just skating to skate.
That's the crossover between us
And
there's a huge crossover too, obviously, between like
yeah,
punk and
the
metal
punk
and the
music.
skate culture.
Okay.
So like those guys are always repping Full of Hell, and then we have a couple companies that like we rep, you know, like we like to wear the clothing of, and it's just like really cool.
They,
And-
they play you on the skateboard videos.
yeah, and they'll wear like our T-shirts in their videos and stuff like that.
yeah.
And you went on the skateboard tours and
No, not yet. That would be really cool. Like a skate rock type deal. That would be fun, but no, we haven't done anything like that yet. I'll bring my board.
Mostly like trading and stuff.
Yeah,
We trade like
we'll trade some merch or something for some
yeah, who
boards.
does your t-shirts?
like the designs.
Yeah.
All different artists that we are fans of. So I mean, no one really like big, but like we just have a lot of friends that we like to stick to for designs.
So were that your friends? Or are you researching on your on like
I mean,
the
it's a little of both, but they usually become friends, you know, because we continue to work with them, and they're just guys like us, you know, like young guys, and just making their art, and in that way, like we're supporting them monetarily, and they're providing us with the designs, and it's a nice circle, like supporting art. So, there's one artist in particular. I guess if there was one artist that we were big fans of that we sought out ourselves, his name's Mark McCoy. He's like an American artist I think he lives in Brooklyn now. His art is unbelievable. He's across several mediums. He likes like photo manipulation right now is really like his thing. But we have him do the record art a lot, and we're huge fans. So it's a pleasure for us.
So we finish now.
Cool.
Do you want to say something?
I don't know. Thank you for the
Yeah,
interview.
Thank you. Yeah.
We don't have much to say.
Say something like buy our record or something.
Yeah. Spend all your money on
Material objects.
material objects from Nike and Adidas, and buy McDonald's stock. Spend your money with IBM. Yeah.
Sound.